Here are top 7 reasons on why you should invest in Pokemon and also the benefits of it. There's a lot of benefits investing in a physical product, investing in trading cards, and investing in a sealed box. So today, let's discuss all the benefits. Now, I don't really want to waste your time, so I'm just going to get into it. I just want to say, guys, thank you guys so much for the support recently. You guys are pretty amazing. I'm going to be doing a giveaway soon, so I'll be announcing that soon. Now, if you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe because I'm bringing some elite information here. But yeah, anyways, let's begin. Alright, number 7. Now, it's not that crazy, but you're able to hold it. You're able to verify its legitimacy, and you don't have to worry about getting locked out, losing a password. You don't have to worry about anything like that. Now, this does come to a downside as well. If you unfortunately get robbed or if your house burns down, you're kind of cooked. But let's be real for a second. If your house gets robbed, just don't tell your neighbors that you have Pokemon. And then your house burning down, houses don't really burn down that much in like this day and age. Like, they don't really at all. So these aren't really too big of issues, and I think that you not being locked out from it is a big advantage. A good example is actually crypto. If you have, in order to store it, like how many exchanges go bust and shut down and then people lose their investments because they had it on there? Or if people store it in their own wallet in a seed phrase and they lose their 12-word seed phrase, like what happens when people lose that? Their investment is just cooked. So it's a good risk versus reward where we have really, really low risk because you're not going to get locked out or anything, and then you also get really good gains. So it's a very good like side benefit. It's nothing crazy, nothing game breaking. It also does come with its downsides, but I believe that the upsides outweigh the downsides 100%. Alright, number 6 is that it's actually super easy to learn. So if you've been waiting like a couple months, dude, if you started from when you considered investing into it, you would have already been halfway through becoming a master investing in this. Like, it is really, really easy to learn into to invest. This whole craze has started in January. All the brand new people in the hobby, all those people are going to get the gist of it within like a year. It is not difficult. If you lock in, it'll take you about a year to really learn it. That's studying singles, studying what goes up, studying which sets have the highest percentage gain. But the thing is, everything I just said, it sounds complicated, but it's really not. You know why? Because information in the Pokemon industry spreads like wildfire. The second there's a leak for a card, it spreads everywhere. And it's funny because a subscriber reached out to me on Instagram a couple weeks ago, and he said to me, hey man, I know what the SIR Lucario is going to be in Mega Evolution. I said to him, I don't believe you because the information would have gone everywhere. Just show me though, I'm curious. And then he showed me it, and I said to him, I'll tell you right now if it's not going to be the artwork, because if it was, the information would spread overnight, everywhere. Lo and behold, we actually get to see the real SIR, and it's not even close. So you can very easily confirm real information to fake information or incorrect information, just like that. The real leaks spread so fast, and this just goes for everything. When Evolving Skies hits a new all-time high, people make posts about it. When this new card is blowing up, people make posts about it. So it's like all you need to do is realistically be in a Facebook group, be in a Discord server, be in a subreddit, and it's super easy. Like, all the work is done for you in a sense. So yeah, it's very, very easy to learn. Alright, and number 5 is it's a super, super, super low entry. It doesn't matter whether you've got $1,000 in the bank, $1 million in the bank, or $7 in the bank. It realistically doesn't matter. The entry on it is so small. So it makes it really, really easy to invest. But also, there is no legal age. There is no sign up you have to do. All you simply do is walk into your retail store and buy it. You can invest using gift cards, cash, card. It's very simple. It's very easy. Doesn't matter where you are. You could be in India. You could be in Africa. You can still buy products. You can still own those products. And best case scenario is like, say you live in, let's just say Africa, right? Dude, you can just use PSA, and they literally have like maximum security guard, like vaults that you can hold slabs in. So like, you don't even need to have a location. You could literally just have it held at like PSA, and they offer that as a service. Now, I don't think they offer that for sealed, but the point is that it's so low entry. It's as low entry as something can possibly get. Very, very easy entry. But then number 4 is it's a deflationary investment. Now, a deflationary investment is really, really good for the simple reason that it means that there can be a slow in demand, yet it can still go up. Great example is base set. Let's be real for a second. Base set right now has less demand than it does when it came out. Now, why is it so much more expensive? Because it's deflationary. That's the sole reason why. And think about it. Think about every single investment you can possibly think of. Think about Bitcoin. There's constantly being more Bitcoin mined every single 10 minutes. Think about gold. Gold is literally being mined out of the ground every, I don't know, however many minutes. A lot of investments are either stagnant with the supply or it's inflationary. This is the only investment realistically that's deflationary. I mean, think about it. If you invest in Rolexes, or if you invest in luxury bags, or if you invest in Lego, all of that is inflationary or a stagnant supply. This is pretty much the only investment that's deflationary. There's not many other investments out there that is deflationary, and honestly, I'd love to see them because I can't name a single one. Like, you can think of a million different investments, but dude, which ones are deflationary? Realistically, none of them. So, yeah, it's a super unique benefit. And then this leads us to number 3, which means not only, yes, because it's deflationary, there can be a slow in demand and it can still go up, but also it's actually pretty much recession proof. Great example is 2022 to 2023. Now, according to people, it's not true, but according to people that were, in Pokemon during that time, me being one of them, people say that Pokemon was dead then, and no one was buying Pokemon, and that's not true. That is bullshit. I'll tell you how that's bullshit. So first of all, every single card shop that had like tables where people could play tournaments, they didn't have enough tables. Like, there was a genuine issue where there were so many people interested in the game, and there was so many people interested in Scarlet Violet Sword and Shield. It's just there was a large supply of stuff, so it didn't go up. Like, it was literally just that. There was a large supply of Shining Fates, there was a large supply of Champion's Path, there was a large supply of Fusion Strike, Silver Tempest, Lost Origin. So then people were saying, well, it's dead. That's what people were saying. Now, on top of this, you also had Vintage absolutely tanking. But why was Vintage tanking? You need to give context. Okay, so it was reaching all-time highs. Like, you got to remember, 2020, like the 2020 boom, that's great. But in 2022 to like early 2024, that was when Pokemon pretty much hit an all-time high of people playing the Pokemon game. Now, people playing the Pokemon game is really good because you can gauge the interest in Pokemon without looking at sealed investments. And the reason is because sealed investments, it could be literally anything on the reason why it doesn't go up. It could literally just be because there's a large supply. So you've got to put yourself in these people's mindset. Right now, you're back in 2020, let's just say 2023. Vintage is constantly tanking. New sets aren't going up, and sets that pumped a lot, like Shining Fates, is tanking rapidly. So that in people's mind, they're thinking, oh, well, Pokemon's dead. But then you've got to give context. All right, number 1, why is Vintage tanking? Because it just went up like 10,000% in a year. Base boxes went from like $300 to like $20 or like $40,000. So yeah, I wonder why it's going down. So then you've got to look at that, and even other ones like Charizard Unlimited. I mean, dude, that Charizard Unlimited was like, dude, they were in the thousands for like PSA 5s or PSA 6s, and they were in the thousands. So obviously it's going to rapidly tank. That's, that makes sense, right? People are going to take profit. Then, so that you've answered that, right? Then the next thing you've got to answer is, okay, well, why is Modern doing so poorly? Well, it's not that it's doing poorly. Sword and Shield was actually regarded as the best era of all of Pokemon, and also had a ridiculous amount of demand. But the thing is, there was also a ridiculous amount of supply. So then you look at those, and then you think, oh, okay. And then if you add the cherry on top that card shops could not have enough tables to sustain all the people wanting to play the game, well, dude, you look at all that and then you go, oh, okay, it actually wasn't dead. People are just full of shit. Great example is Sun and Moon. 2024, 2023, 2022, like that 3-year window, oh my god, Sun and Moon had a massive run up. Team up boxes went from like, was it $400 to like $3,000. Sorry, is the crash in the room with us? Like, I can't find it. I couldn't find it. I mean, at least according to my knowledge and what I remember Team Up crushing new all-time highs. I remember Cosmic Eclipse doing fantastic. Okay, sure, Vintage wasn't doing that good. It still had a massive run-up. And then you've got older sets like Chilling Reign breaking like $300 per box, which at the time, $300 per box was really impressive. And then you also had Evolving Skies being like $500, even though it was getting reprints. So it's like, dude, it was never actually dead. The only time Pokemon has realistically been dead is really before 2020. The reason why it was before 2020 is because that's when it was like actually a kid's game. Now it's like, holy crap, it's a whole serious thing. So yeah, it's a deflationary product, but also it's recession proof to a certain level. Like, obviously it doesn't just mean it's infinitely going to go up, but for a lot of stuff, it's not that it will, but it's like, it may go up, I don't know, say 200%, but then retrace by like 5%. Great example is Evolving Skies. Dude, it started the year at like what, 1K? Now it's almost 4K. Okay, say it ends the year at 6K, right? If it retraces back to 3K or 4K, it's still up like 300%, right? But then people will go, like, seriously, if Evolving Skies starts the year at $1,000, and then at the end of 2025, it's, say, $6,000, and these prices are all in AUD, right? So then $6,000 AUD is about $4,000 USD, right? So then you would look at that, and let's just say it retraces like 30%. So it goes from $6,000 back down to $4,000. People are going to look at that, and they're going to ask themselves, they're going to go, oh my goodness, what's going on? Why is Evolving Skies crashing? But it's like, well, hang on. Just look at the big picture. Evolving Skies started the year at $1,000, but you look back a year before that, and it was like $500. And then you look at release, and it was, obviously the release, which is MSRP, $200 or $190. And then you look at that and you go, okay, it's not that it's crashing, it's actually correcting. There's a very big difference. Crashing is when something is just crashing because of fear, right? Like, it's just people are selling. Correcting is people taking profit because they're up so much money. Very big difference. But then that brings us to number 2, which is that you get to learn new skills. So this is something a lot of people don't talk about. You get to learn how to ship items. You get to learn roughly how to run a business in certain ways. You get to learn how to talk to people and negotiating. You get to learn all these different things. And these are good, valuable life skills. A great example is meeting up with people. Most people generally don't want someone to come to their house to pick up an item. Generally, people like to meet up, especially if it's like a big deal. So you build this skill of like organizing dates to meet up with people. I know it's not the most crazy thing out there, but it's good because it sharpens people's skill. What do you think is better? Someone, shipping products out, accepting payments online, working with people, showing pictures, taking good pictures, and working with people versus just clicking sell on like, I don't know, an exchange where you can sell your stock. Like, one of them produces multiple skills. And also a big one is, this is something I've noticed a lot, is that most people, or a lot of people, have an eBay page or a website or something very like low key, and they'll have like a logo, they'll make posts online, and okay, maybe it doesn't go anywhere. Maybe they just have some fun, they enjoy it, they sell some sealed products here and there, and they sell some singles they don't want. They're still learning skills. They're learning graphic designing from making their logo and making nice graphics. Then they're learning marketing from listing stuff, wording it properly. Then you've got communications, talking to people, actually answering questions. Once again, you're not going to become a spine surgeon, but you're building up skills. And this is something no one really talks about, is that all of these, it's actually amazing how much knowledge a lot of people have in this industry that they just learn naturally. It's actually really, really amazing. And I'll tell you how I know it's amazing is because I'll talk to somebody who's been in the hobby for a couple years. They're just a casual collector, but they just know so much. They know different tricks with business. They know marketing. They learn all these different things. And these are skills that you actually learn in Pokemon just naturally. And then sometimes I talk to people who aren't in Pokemon, and obviously most people aren't in Pokemon. It's not like someone's like an alien for not being into Pokemon, but people who aren't into Pokemon, and they're just not illiterate, but they're kind of like, they just don't know a lot of stuff when it comes to selling stuff, shipping stuff. I mean, you'd be surprised how many people don't even know how to ship an item. You'd be surprised how many people don't even know how to put an address properly. I've had some people, holy moly, I'll tell you what, dude, I've seen some people stuff up their addresses really bad. But you would be surprised how many normal people just don't know basic things. But then with selling this stuff, buying it and selling it, I mean, even just like investing into it, buying it and then selling it in the future, you learn these skills. And that's a very, very beneficial thing, just growing as a human being. But then number 1 is that it goes up a lot. Now, it is scary when things go up a lot because you're thinking, all right, if this is going up by so much, then surely there's going to be a retrace. And you know what? I would say it's fair enough. It's like Evolving Skies going up so much. It is sort of scary. Or like 151 going up so much. It is almost scary because it's like, ooh, okay, but is there going to be like a massive 5-year winter for Pokemon? And who knows? Realistically, I don't think that's going to happen. The market is just too strong for that to happen. And you know how you know that the market is strong? You'll know that the market is strong when you have so many people waiting for it to dip to buy back in. That's what a lot of people say. A lot of people, you hear it online, people say, man, I just can't wait for it to go back to normal. I just can't wait for it to calm down. I just can't wait for this market to cool off so I can just buy a bunch of sealed product. Okay, well, hang on. So we've got an army, a stampede of people ready to buy when the market dips. Okay, so then that means the market can't really dip for a good while. Of course, eventually the market will cool off. Fair enough. But for a good while, not really, because you can see so much strength not only now, but then in the future. A great example, I want to use a great example of the opposite, where people get put in this euphoria that the market is just going to go up forever. So Bitcoin is a fantastic example. Generally, Bitcoin works in cycles of every 4 years, right? I mean, we don't all know this, but if you don't know, it works in about 4-year cycles. It's got to do with the halving. It's a little bit complicated, but most stuff does as well. Usually, the US stock market also runs in 4-year cycles with election years and stuff. There's very interesting statistics you should go over if you haven't. It's very interesting. But anyways, point is that what happens is Bitcoin, when it goes up, oh my goodness, the predictions are stupid. People say Bitcoin is going to go to $1 million. No, it's not going to. Yes, okay, it has a good year. It goes up 100% or 120 or 130%. That's fantastic. It's not going to go up 1,000%. Get real. The problem is people do this, and people did it last cycle as well. People did it in 2020 as well. People made these bullcrap predictions like Bitcoin is going to replace the global economy of like usage of money. It's going to replace this. It's going to replace that. And then people would make these crypto coins with like, you're going to marry this crypto coin. This is going to be an AI coin. Your wife is going to be uploaded on the blockchain. Like, people made some crazy predictions, right? But all that flushed down the drain when people started to take profits. Compare that to Pokemon. And with Pokemon, you have a lot of people waiting for the market to cool off. When you have a lot of people waiting for the market to cool off, that's where you can see that there's a lot of strength. Because I'll give you a great example with Bitcoin. Generally, Bitcoin will go up 10, 20, 30% in a month, and then people will lose their minds and they'll say how much they love Bitcoin. Then you start having all the crypto bros saying how it's going to go to $1 million, it's going to go to this, it's going to go to that. I kid you not. The second it dips like 3%, people start going, oh, well, what happened? What's going on? Did tariffs just get announced? Oh my goodness, did Satoshi's wallet like finally become awake? Like, people just wonder what happened, and then they don't want to buy it, and they immediately shoo away from it. Great example is when FTX crashed. Now, I'm kind of going on a bit of a side tangent here, but dude, when that crashed, all of a sudden everybody hates Bitcoin, and it's like, what the heck? But with Pokemon, it's a little bit different. And you know why? Because it's not all about money. With Pokemon, it's actually collecting. It's actually the thrill of opening it up. It's spending time with people around you. It's collecting. It's enjoying opening it up. A lot of people open up Pokemon to take the edge off the stresses of life, which is completely valid, right? If you do that, happy days, fair enough. But the thing is, that's what fuels up the market. It's not investors, it's not scalpers. And if you think that's the case, I would recommend you consider otherwise, because you take a look and you see, all right, if only scalpers bought this and no collectors actually bought this and it was all market manipulation, it would come crashing down. Great example is the Drowsy illustration from Skull and Violet Base. That is a good example of market manipulation, and it's come crashing back down. Hey, I don't see Evolving Skies crashing down. Oh, sorry, didn't Lost Origin just hit a new all-time high? Oh, a great example is what? Final Fantasy. This just hit a new all-time high. Again. Okay, that's not market manipulation. You can easily identify. It's not hard to identify if it's market manipulation. It's really not hard. So, my whole point of this is it goes up a lot, but it also makes sense why it goes up a lot. It's not just like magical fairy numbers, right? It actually makes sense. So, yeah, at least it kind of adds like a little bit of an explanation towards why it actually does. Because people generally tend to think if something goes up a lot, they just generally tend to think it's a scam. Great example is, I can't think of any great example, but yeah, I really can't. But people generally, if something goes up more than like 5, 10, more like 20%, if something goes up more than 20 to 30%, people generally call it a scam. People generally call it like, oh no, that's too good to be true. Actually, a great example are index funds whenever it comes to the stock market. If there is an index fund claiming that it can outperform the S&P, or it can get like 20% dividends, oh my goodness, stay away. And people do. People will call it out. People say, no, that's bullcrap. There's no way that's working. You know, it's not going to work. And most of the time, yes, they are right. It's not going to work. And you can see the behavior whenever something goes up a lot. People just instantly think it's going to come crashing down. A great example is just Bitcoin. Or actually, yeah, Bitcoin is a fantastic example, right? Whether Bitcoin goes up or down, I really don't know, and I also don't care. But the point is that every single time it breaks a new all-time high, if anyone ever talks about it, all these people are just praying that it goes down. All these people are just praying on its downfall. They hope it goes to the floor, and they hope people lose money in it. Great example is Pokemon. This guy, he what was it? He had like 400, or it was like actually in the thousands. He had these tiny tins, right? And each tin had like 2 Evolving Skies packs, and he had like a giant block in the corner of his living room. It had to be at least 50 to 100k worth of tins. And people in the comments were saying they hope his house burns down and he loses everything, which is just awful. I mean, you know, people are crappy. Newsflash, people suck. But you can see that it's almost like when someone's doing well and when something is doing well, people just suspect it to scam, people suspect something's shady, and they don't want it to do well. I would understand why you suspected this is shady, but it makes sense why it's doing well, because it's not all about the money. Let's be real for a second. If you invest in index funds or Bitcoin, you're not doing it for the fun of it, right? You're not investing in an index fund because you love the ticker of it. Like, you're investing in it because you want it to do well. And every single person who's buying it has the same thought process. The difference with Pokemon is that some people are collecting it, some people are displaying it, some people are investing in it, some people are selling it. A lot of people buy it to sell it. People do that as well. People, all these different reasons. And then they all come together, and then the box price goes up. And it doesn't happen overnight. Box prices can stagnate for 2, 3, 4 years. Like, Team Up is a great example. It went from $400 to $3,000 and then just stagnated. Boom. Was just dead for like years until it eventually went up to like 15k, and then it ran off into the sunset holding hands. But yeah, that's gonna do it for today's video. Thanks guys for watching.